What's good, YouTube? Welcome to the Ballers Club. It's your boy BallOrFallBird, the one and only Mr. Ball, the one and only Mr. Do It All, the one and only Mr. Everything Under the Sun will get done because your boy is best beyond. Listen, man, I got a banger for y'all today. Y'all know I do because I'm rubbing my hands together like Birdman. And the topic of today is fighting loneliness and trust issues. The reason why I got this topic as the topic for today is because it comes straight from one of our newest BallOrFall family members, which I'm finna read their comment on the video that I posted last night, which was basically how I said life is as simple as 1, 2, 3, ABC. But us as humans, we don't learn the right things that we need to learn from our past mistakes or learn it in the right way. So we make a lot of life's experiences more difficult than what they have to be. The commenter on this video said, the newest person of the BallOrFall family member, I'm not sure if it's a man or woman, so I'm just gonna say they. They said, well, life is hard for me because I'm so lonely. I have always had trust issues and I push people away, and I've done that since I was a teenager. Now I am 25 and I still feel this way. So I responded to their comment, gave them some words of encouragement, let them know what I think, what they can do and all that kind of stuff. And then I also asked them if I could use their comment for the topic of this video. They responded back and said, yeah, but it's so hard. I feel bad about myself and I'm asking myself, am I the problem? There are so many thoughts in my mind. Sometimes I want to ask for help, but I remember that I'm the reason that I push people away. Then they let me know that, of course, I could use their comment for the video, that they had, just joined the family. So I appreciate them. I appreciate you if you're watching right now. We finna go ahead and get right into the nitty gritty of this video. Like I said, topic of the day is fighting loneliness and trust issues. All right. So to go ahead and get into it, you said that you feel like sometimes you ask yourself if you are the problem. And I'm gonna let you know right now, you are not the problem. And why do I say problem and put quotations around it? I do that because, number one, I don't like using the word problem anymore. The way that God has molded me into the person that I am today, the experiences that I've been through, everything that I've been through to make me who I am today, I don't believe in the word problems anymore. I believe in two other words, projects and challenges. And the reason why I do this is because the word problem has such a negative connotation about it. When I think of a problem, when we think about problems, it doesn't put our mindset to shift and to say, okay, I can solve this or I can get this figured out. So a lot of times when we have problems in our life, we think of something like, dang, like this is so big, like this is too big for me to handle. Like I might as well lay down and just let the problem like overtake me. When we think about how we were in school, when we went through school, we went through college, whatever the case may be, our teacher gave us projects. When the teacher gave us projects, no matter how hard it was, no matter how many pages, how big the project was, whatever the case may be, we had to figure it out. And we did what we had to do to be able to figure out these projects. We figured out the projects, all right, and then that led us to better things, a good grade, whatever the case may be. But nonetheless, we figured it out. The other word that I use is challenge. I use the word challenge because of pretty much like the same thing. It's a more positive connotation towards the word as opposed to using the word problem. So when I say I have a challenge, I think of myself as somebody that's like, like I'm a king. I'm somebody that, if a challenge is in front of me, this got to be a worthy challenge, or I'm not even gonna pay it no mind. It'll get done without me even thinking about it. But if this is a worthy challenge that's in front of me, if this is a challenge that's big and like something that I got to be able to really solve and put some effort into solving, then I'm like, okay, this is a worthy challenge. How am I gonna overcome it? And that's the reason why I think about the words project and challenge as opposed to problem. So you will hear me say the words project and challenge throughout this video. But to get back into the nitty gritty of it, because we're now 4 minutes into the video. You are not the problem. You are your own project, and your loneliness and trust issues are the challenges that you're facing today. Why do I say that? I say that you're not the problem because, for one, even if I did use the word problem, you're not the problem because the world and your experiences, everything that you have been through has shaped you into who you are today and why you are the way that you are today. What do I mean by this and why do I say this? I say this because as babies, we did not have trust issues. As babies, we did not know what being lonely felt like. As babies, toddlers, infants, young kids, maybe all the way up until maybe 6 or 7. We didn't really know what being lonely was. We may have felt lonely, but it wasn't until that we had an actual understanding of what lonely is that we started to tell ourselves, okay, maybe I'm better off being alone. Maybe I'm better off pushing people away so that they can't hurt me and they won't drive me into having more and more trust issues. So I say that because The world has shaped us. The way that our brain works, the way that our brain triggers our emotions is our brain is meant to keep us safe. So when we start to have things that, don't feel right to us, we start feeling lonely. We start feeling like we can't trust people. Our brain will tell us, okay, you have trust issues. Keep yourself away from these type of people. Keep yourself away from people in general. And that's just our brain's way of trying to protect us. And I'll get later on I'll get into, how we have to overcome our brain. But I speak on all this to say we put negative connotations on certain things. Our brain is taught to keep us safe, but we have to understand what the brain is doing. So we are in control of our brain. We are in control of what to tell our brain to actually do with the thoughts and the experiences that we go through. What do I mean by this? What I mean by this is when we're taught not to cross the road without looking both ways because we can get hit by a car. We don't take a negative connotation on that and say, oh man, I can't cross the road whenever I want to. We say, no, I've chosen, I've been taught to learn that, okay, if I don't look both ways, this can harm me. If I don't, say, okay, well, let me watch how this person moves, they can harm me. They can lie to me, they can deceive me, whatever the case may be. So the reason why I say that is because, like I said, we have the option, and this is what I'm trying to get all of us to realize. We have the option to put whatever belief we want onto the situation at hand. So where am I going with this? Where I'm going with this is to my first point of the day. And I have my notes right here so I don't get too far off of topic whenever I'm giving examples or anything. But the first thing today, the world and its effect on us, especially via the internet. Why is this my first topic? This is my first topic because the internet, in my opinion, is a great thing. As great as it is, as great as it's, like being able to assist us and aid us in certain things, it's also where it is today, it can be a bit of a hindrance to us. And why do I say that? I say that because it has two negative things. The toxicity that's being produced through being independent, and then it has another thing called echo chambers. If you're not familiar with the two, I'll hit on them briefly. But number one, encouraging certain toxicity such as independence. Independence itself is not a bad thing, but too much of anything is bad. All right, so what do I mean by this? So the internet nowadays, especially nowadays, we're taught to, do everything ourselves. We're taught to order our groceries. We're taught to learn how to cook ourselves, learn how to clean ourselves, learn how to, just doing life on our own and be our own boss and, entrepreneurship and all these other things that being independent sometimes can help us with. And like I said, it's not a bad thing, but too much of anything can be bad for us. So the thing that I'm getting at when I say this is with being independent, we're also falling down the loophole of being told that we can solve our own problems. Or, okay, I'm not going to help this person solve their problems because that's their problem. The only person that can fix it is them. If they wanted to lose weight, they'll go to the gym. If they wanted to learn how to cook, they'll learn how to cook. They'll look up videos. Whatever the case is. So it puts those two negative things on us as people, as a human race, when the world hasn't always been like that. Before the internet, before you were able to look up a video of somebody cooking, if you didn't know how to cook yourself, you had to go and ask for help, whether that was from your grandma, your mom, the chef around the corner, whatever the case may be, you had to ask for help. It wasn't until the internet, it wasn't until the videos, the YouTubes, and all these TikToks and stuff came out that we were able to start teaching ourselves this, and now it's almost expected that we teach ourselves these things. So where am I going with this? Where I'm going with this is we can fix pretty much everything on our own. We can find the weight loss programs. We can start cooking on our own. We can go to the gym, learn workouts. We can do all these things on our own. But the two things that we cannot do on our own so happen to be the problems or the projects that we're experiencing right now, especially as a human race, because you're not the only one that's experiencing this. And I'm gonna get into that next. What I'm talking about is you can't fix loneliness by yourself, and you can't fix trust issues by yourself. The only way to fix loneliness is to have companionship, have community. The only way to fix trust issues is to find someone or something to trust. So they can't be done just by yourself. You can't say, it's not like, okay, I can say, I'm gonna go work out. I can do that myself. I can go run for myself. I can go, jog or lift weights and everything by myself. I don't need a personal trainer, but I may not know everything, so I may feel that I need a personal trainer. That's number one. All right, that's the problem that the world and the internet has given us. Number two, another thing that the world and the internet has given us is echo chambers. Echo chambers are what I like to call safe spaces. They're places where you'll go there and you'll only hear an echo of what you want to hear. You'll only hear an echo of the thing that's consistently being displayed in that place. So we can join communities on Facebook. We can join Reddits. We can join Instagram groups. Whatever the case may be, we can join all these communities of people who are just like us. I can go join an entrepreneurship group. I can go join a football group where all we're talking about is football, where all we're talking about is entrepreneurship. Too much entrepreneurship can be bad for you if it's, oh, you don't need a job, you don't need this, you don't need that, you can do it all by yourself. If you want to get paid the amount that you want to get paid, go work for yourself. Don't go work for somebody else. Too much of anything is too bad for you. So where am I going with this? With these echo chambers, a lot of times we use them as safe spaces. So if I'm somebody that feels lonely, if I'm somebody that feels like I have trust issues, 9 times out of 10, the people that I surround myself with, whether that be in person or in this sense on the internet, I'm going to follow people that, talk about trust issues. I'm going to follow people that talk about them being lonely. And I may join groups. I may comment and like their comments and stuff where they say, oh, well, I feel so lonely in this world and things like that. And that's not to beat anybody down. That's not to say anything. But at the end of the day, we're trying to fix our projects. We're trying to, overcome our challenges. If loneliness and trust issues is our challenge, we're going to overcome it. So the reason why I say this is because sometimes I have to check myself. Like I said, with the entrepreneurship group, sometimes you'll hear too much of, you can do it all by yourself. You don't need companionship. You don't need community. You can do it all by yourself. Just delegate your time and, all these things that come with entrepreneurship. But like I said, too much of anything is too much and it can be bad for you. So where am I going with this now? I'm going straight into the solutions because I don't want to make this video too much longer, maybe the 20-minute mark at the absolute most. But the solutions, number one, seek help from others who have been in your shoes and are now on the other side of your challenge. What do I mean by this and why do I say this? A lot of times we'll try to find people that will help us cope with what we're going through. We'll try to find people that's all we're going to say, oh, well, I understand where you're coming from. I'm going through the same thing, which isn't bad. It's not bad to, help, 2 people can help figure something out faster than just one. But if I can go straight to somebody that has been in my shoes before, and the reason why I say this is because of a famous saying of something that I always love, and it's actually one of my wallpapers now. You are special, your problems are not. And the only reason I'm saying the word problem in this scenario is because it's included inside the actual quote. You are special, but your problems are not. So where am I going with this? Where I'm going with this is there's somebody else, or I'm not even going to just say somebody. There's plenty of other people in the world that have been directly where you are in life. There's other people in the world who have went through loneliness. There are other people in the world that have went through trust issues. Go find them. Go talk to them. I'm one of them. That's why you're talking to me. But go find them and talk to them and figure out how they overcame those things. If they were lonely, what did they start doing? Why were they feeling lonely? A lot of times we're lonely and we don't even know exactly why we're feeling lonely. We haven't actually dug deep down into the root of why we're lonely and why we feel the ways that we feel. So when I say this, go talk to somebody else and maybe they can help you figure out why you feel lonely. Go talk to somebody else and maybe they can help you figure out why you have these trust issues. Or if it's from experience, the things that you've been through, maybe you have reasons for having trust issues. But nonetheless, you can still go find somebody else that has been through those same things, has overcome them, and are now on the other side of that challenge. So that's number one. Find somebody else that has made it to the other side. Number two, you may not be able to fix your own loneliness and trust issues, but you can help somebody else fix theirs. Why do I say this? Why is this a big thing for number two? This is a big thing for me because one of the biggest things that I believe that we can do as people is learn by teaching. So let's take this example before I actually get into it. Let's take this example. If I am newly learning finances, if I'm newly learning math, but I have some kind of previous knowledge on it, just like in your case or in all of our cases, sometimes we go through loneliness, we go through trust issues. We know something about that, about the root of it, or about, why we're feeling like this. Helping somebody else go through this will help us internalize what it is that we need to do. Because a lot of times we put ourselves to the side and say, I'm going to help this person. What would be the best information? What would be the best thing for me to tell this person? What would be the best thing for me to do to help this person? By doing that, you're helping yourself, because now you're learning, okay, I need to do this for myself. I need to tell myself these things. I need to find somebody that can tell me these things. I need to, find ways that I can do the things that I'm telling this person to do. So the reason why that's a big thing is because, like I said, you learn by teaching. If I'm trying to become a finance teacher, but I don't know all the ins and outs of finance, and I'm trying to tell somebody, okay, well, you need to save up to $10,000. It'll be weird if I'm saying that and I don't have $10,000 saved up myself. But if I'm learning by teaching, then maybe I can teach myself the habits of starting to save that $10,000. If you get what I'm saying. I hope that I'm making sense with everything that I'm saying. Number 3, reach out to someone else for their sake instead of your own. This is something that's real big because I studied psychology. I studied psychology when I was in college. And when you look at the link between the two, the psychological part of how our brain thinks when we're going through loneliness and having things like trust issues, we have these things, but when we're going through it, we will tell ourselves, okay, I'm lonely right now. I'm lonely. I'm not feeling good. Let me call this person. Let me invite this person over. But when we're doing that, number one, we're doing that from a selfish place. So that's why the point for number 3 is reach out to someone else for their sake instead of your own. When you reach out because you say, oh, I'm lonely, I don't want to feel lonely anymore, so let me reach out to this person and have them come around, come over, whatever the case may be. We're doing it so that they can come around and help us. As opposed to, just like in number 2, we can help somebody else fix their own issues. But even if they don't have an issue, we can call them over for their sake. Maybe I can help them. Maybe I can talk to them about something. Maybe they're going through something that I don't even know about. So call them over for their sake. Reach out to them for their sake. Because another thing that we go through when we reach out for our own sake is we fight the mental battle of, like I said, it throws us back into that cycle, back into that loop of saying, okay, now that they're finally over here, now that they're finally, in my presence or whatever the case may be, now I'm fighting my anxiety. They come around because I invited them around, but now my anxiety is making me feel like I have to overanalyze everything. I can't trust them. I can barely trust them in the first place. Why are they talking like that? Why did they say that? Was there, some kind of malicious intent behind that joke that they said? Why are they moving like that? What's their body language showing? Whatever the case may be, there are a lot of things that we will do out of intent, out of what we feel like is good intent, but we'll do it and try to reach out to people, but not realizing that it's coming from a selfish place. So that's why I say, avoid going through the loop. Avoid telling yourself, hey, like, things will get better if they come around. You see what I'm saying? And the reason why I say that is because, like I said, I'm sorry, I'm looking at my dog right now. I'm just trying to make sure she's not, trying to go to the bathroom in the house. But they'll come around and then you'll start overanalyzing the situation, feeling like, okay, maybe it's good that I have trust issues. Maybe, maybe I do need to keep my guard up. And you do this, but then your anxiety drives through the roof. And then now you're telling yourself, okay, well, maybe it's better that I am by myself. Maybe it's better that I am lonely and, I'm by myself, so I don't have to deal with these trust issues at all times throughout the day. So we do that and we think about these things, and then that ends up sending us right back down the same loop. But like I said, we won't do that if we reach out to somebody else for their sake instead of our own. And then lastly, number 4, this is the last topic that I'm gonna hit on, and then we'll get out of here. If you got any more questions after this, please reach back out and I'll do my best to help explain anything else in more detail. But number 4, lastly, watch out for the things that your mind will tell you to do and not do. This is a big thing because our mind is the strongest muscle in our body. Our mind will try to tell us things like, hey, don't send that text to them. You may think about texting one of your friends, one of your old classmates or whatever the case may be, and end up, your mind will be like, hey, no, don't text them. Hey, no, don't reach out to them. They don't want to know what you have to say. And it'll end up making you feel like, okay, maybe it'll be better off if I don't text them. Maybe I'll be better off if I don't reach out to them. So in doing that, our mind is trying to tell us not to do something that is basically all created by fear. And a big acronym for fear that I got from reading actually this book right here, The 12 Universal Laws of Success. If you watched my channel before, you know this is one of the books that I live and die by. One of the acronyms from that for the word fear is false evidence appearing real. And the reason why I think about that is because we'll say all these things to ourselves, you know, oh, I'm finna reach out to him. I'm finna text one of my friends right now. And then in my brain is like, oh, well, that person doesn't want to hear from you. That person doesn't want to, you know, talk to you. That person could care less about your problems. Whatever the case may be, false evidence appearing real. And we tell ourselves all these things, and the whole time, these things are not even remotely real because they're not even true. A lot of things that we're most scared about will never even happen in our lifetime. So when I think about this, I think about in this same sense, our mind would try to tell us, hey, don't do something. Our mind will try to tell us, hey, like, don't reach out, don't do any of this because it's going to drive you to a worse place. What's the worst that can happen? You die? If that is literally, and I always say this, if that is literally the worst thing that can happen, then don't do it. But if you're not going to die by reaching out and then even if they don't want to talk to you, oh man, I didn't want to talk. Are you going to die? I would assume not. So when I say all these things, it's not to downplay anybody's situation. It's not to downplay anyone's emotions. It's literally to just say like, man, like now that you have, and I'm going to say this, I'm going to be done. Now that you have the realization and I'm proud of you for being able to tell me like, hey, like I struggle with these things. I am having issues with, you know, feeling lonely and having trust issues. Now that you know that about yourself, it's almost an active decision to continue to go through it if you're not actively trying to fix it at all times now. Because anytime that you start thinking about a trust issue, anytime that you start to feel lonely, it's always ways that you can combat that. It's always ways that you can say, okay, no, I'm not going to feel like this, or I'm going to do this to keep myself from feeling like that. So I say all these things to say our issues, our challenges, our projects can be solved. We just have to put in the work. Whatever the case may be, loneliness, trust issues, physical issues, whatever the case may be, they can all be solved, they can all be fixed, but it's upon us to put in the work. Let me know if you have any more questions. I appreciate this topic. This is probably, I think, one of the longest videos I've had on my channel, but I appreciate the topic. I appreciate being able to come to you and let you know, like, hey, this is what I personally feel like you can do. If you like any more conversation, if you like any more help on it, I can do a deeper dive into it because, like I said, this is just my own personal experience. This is my personal expertise, my personal knowledge on how I feel based on the things that I've studied, based on the things that I know. But nonetheless, if you still need help, let me know. Reach out to me. My email will be in the description. Reach out to me via Instagram. My Instagram is ATHBird or BallOrFallBird TV. Whichever the case may be, reach out to me. Let me know what kind of help you need. I'll do my best to help, and we will get this solved, man. Thank you, man. It's your boy BallOrFallBird. You have been here for the Balls Club. It's Mr. One and Only, Mr. Do It All, Mr. BallOrFall. I am out. I will see y'all later.